Now it's time to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And Olamide as well as Nelson are standing by to bring us up to speed. Good morning, Nelson. Good morning, Olamide. What are the papers saying today?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Veronica. Good morning, Ibrahim. The papers are saying quite a lot this morning, ranging from politics to tourism to economy, especially in politics, Vero. We saw some punches in the PDP. So that and more would be bringing to our audience this morning.
All right. You can take it away now.
Welcome everyone to the newspaper review segment right here on TVC Breakfast. There's a lot on the papers this morning. Olamide, but first of all, what do you make of the punches that took place yesterday? We saw the report this morning. I was thinking maybe you and I should do a rehearsal of that, should we?
Let's not do that this morning. However, it was very, 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 shocking seeing all that yesterday for two persons who were claiming the national secretary position in the party. And looking at what transpired, one person said he was not allowed to, attend the Board of Trustees meeting. We expected the PDP to actually, form a great alliance yesterday as a formidable, opposition, as we've always seen them to be. However, it looks like this is going through a different turn. And ahead of the NEC meeting in February, where, there will be major decisions for the next election, local government levels and all of this, I'm still wondering what's going to be the fate of that party if they cannot resolve this at this time.
Well, let's look forward
and then resolving to violence, that's another big issue.
Indeed. Let's look forward that there'd be some level of calm and stability within the PDP, and that would lead us to the first paper to be considered today, and that would be the Nation newspaper. Olamide.
Right.
Speaking on quite a number of things here. Widest circulating paper, they call themselves Injunctive Orders Against Obiagbana, GHL Orders Stay, say FBN lawyers. Okay, some issues right there. He said, we floored First Bank in court as fracas at PDP national headquarters take place. Well, we've already spoken about this, so hopefully the PDP will be able to fix their house in order, to ensure that they present themselves as a formidable opposition party.
Right.
And then hopefully coming up the next election, they'll be able to give a good fight.
It's very interesting the way this Nigerian newspaper put it, still on the PDP fracas. It says big party, big problems. As clash over national secretary position rocks the secretariat. Anyanwu Ude-Okoye supporters exchange blows at BOT meeting. Okoye walked out. Raki heads committee ahead of February 25 NEC meeting. This Nigeria says big party, big problem. Of course, there are different, ideas, motivations and all of that. But the PDP, as of course, is expected to be, built and run on one ideology. But what we are seeing now is quite different. Another story on this Nigeria, which is the bottom strip of this Nigerian newspaper, is talking about this recent issue. Max Air operation suspended for 3 months after the Kano incident. And the NSIB has begun an investigation to ascertain the cause of this incident. That
was a sad story, for the aircraft to crash land on the Kano airport. But we thank God that not a lot was lost, in that incident.
Not a lot was lost in that incident. However, it's good that the NSIB is making an investigation to ensure that, this does not happen again. But let's see what the Nigerian News Direct newspaper.
All right, let's look at the News Direct, and there's a few things right there. Again, the headline is on PDP, but we've taken that, so let's look at something else. Telecom tariff hike, NLC kicks vows to hold nationwide protest, and Lagos unveils 500 million naira subsidy intervention fund for poultry fish farmers. I wish I was one. Olamide, this is a good place to make some money. Sullivan Group successes is evident of local content support and innovation. This according to the GMD. And the paper, of course, is marred with a lot of political conversations still around the PDP, Olamide. But let's not overflow that matter.
Of course, let's not overflow that matter. But I think the matter of interest will be the NLC purported strike. And I believe other newspapers are reporting this morning. But let's see what Daily Trust. Daily Trust is also reporting the party crisis, the PDP party crisis. And it says Anyanwu's aide forcefully ejects Ude-Okoye. Damagum blames leaders for this crisis. We've overflogged this issue, of course. We will leave the party to resolve their issues as they can. But talking about this NLC purported strike on the tariff, telecom tariff hike, there are a lot of concerns, but I believe there have been negotiations as to what. Let's not forget that these telcos are saying that, you know, even the 50% tariff is still not enough, and it's not in tandem with some of the realities that they're assuming, you know, the cost, having to run and all of that. Now, the question is, how do we balance this to ensure that even the investors do not also, you know, make a loss? However, the NLC is saying that this is not very timely for Nigerians.
Olamide, again, the consideration of quite a number of factors are on the table. A lot of tariffs on different, you know, commodities in the country on the table. And so this, again, the NLC is saying 50 may be too much at this time. But let's look at the New Telegraph, again, with the bold header there, still on the PDP crisis, as Anyanwu Ude-Okoye disrupts the BOT meeting. We know, of course, quite a number of papers are washed with that today. But let's look at a few other matters still on the New Telegraph, right? The DSS military intercept arms cache from Niger Republic. Okay. And a the crisis deepens as Faroranti loyalists reject Farotimi. All right. We were thinking that some level of agreement had been reached, but it seems like the boat is not yet rested at its wharf. Let's see. Regulatory violation JAM suspends law admission into 8 universities. All right, we'll see what happens to these universities who has been banned by JAM. And NLC again set to protest 50% tariff hike. Okay. 50,000 Nigerian women forced into prostitution. Olamide, this is quoting a minister. Wow. 50,000 Nigerian women
forced into prostitution.
It says 1.4 million trapped in modern slavery in Europe.
That doesn't sound good at all. That doesn't sound good at all. That's why we've always, you know, seen the Nigerian government try their best in, you know, bringing back these girls. Some of them are being, you know, enslaved, or some of them are being deceived, you know, for greener pasture, so to speak.
Indeed.
And most persons just jump at opportunities without even making question. I'm not saying that is the case here.
Yeah.
However, there is need to ensure that these girls are safe. Having 50,000 of our women forced, that's the word, forced into prostitution. I mean, it means that they would rather do something else and not that in the long run. And so it's very important.
But that's actually the case, Yolamide. When you speak about that, they're promised a supposed greener pasture, and then they go out there and find out that it's not so green as they thought. And so they have to, you know, be forced into conditions that enable them to live daily. That is not something we need to do. And that conversation spans from there to other economic and governmental matters. But I think that will be it for the New Telegraph.
There is another interesting story here, still on the New Telegraph. The bottom strip, which is a study which says difficulty reaching deep sleep linked to dementia. Did you sleep well?
I try my best midday to sleep well. But you know, sometimes you have to wake up pretty early to beat the traffic so we can be on air to give our audience a fantastic show.
Well, of course, let's not even, you know, forget the tariffs increasing on all sides. I mean,
that affects sleep as well, right?
You may not sleep well. But let's quickly go to the Platform Times. And the big story here is saying that the Sultan tackles Abiodun Makinde Oyebanji over Sharia panel ban in the Southwest region. election fraud. Professor faces arrest as court issues fresh bench warrants. But another interesting story here, Nelson, on the Platform Times, which is the top of the Platform Times, is Governor Makinde directs Oyo civil servant to wear ashoke on Thursday. Wow. Let's not forget that civil servants in Oyo State actually wear ashoke or on traditional wears on Fridays. And so adding Thursday, and he's saying every Thursday, try to, come to work in your traditional attire. It's a good one for the Yoruba cultural heritage. It's a way of, the governor trying to ensure that it is also a source of income for those who sew these
manufacturers
manufacture, and it also helps, to still maintain, have a sense of what the state is about, what Ibadan is about, what your state in general constitutes in the Yoruba kingdom.
Frankly speaking, when we call it traditional attire, well, again, it is a traditional attire, but that ought to be, that's our normal. It's like the blazer I'm wearing, and it's normal over there. They don't see it as a traditional, sort of, that's who they are. And so it's just that where we have imbibed this outfit, to be our norm. So I think it's a good thing that the governor has done to promote our culture, who we are as a people. It's lovely to see that. Well, maybe we're not there yet to see us wear that from Monday to Friday.
I mean, for it to get to, Thursday, we should be looking at possibly, Wednesday, Sunday, and other days in the week. But, I mean, are you open to having that in Lagos here?
Well, let's hope that would be the case. Let's get quickly to the blueprint, right? The blueprint is discussing a few issues right here as well. This is on terrorism. The Chad Basin, Tinubu demands multifaceted response to security threats, of course, because this is the only way we can nip the entire Hydra-headed security challenges we're facing in the bud. If all our agencies mount security poles at different corners, then we'll be able to catch these guys and stop whatever plans they have. And so, of course, that is a good way to go. And look at this, Olamide, cash scarcity pushes e-payment. That's at the bottom strip of the blueprints right there. Pushes e-payment to 105.1 trillion naira in December of 2024. Wow. Okay. Another one here says, equip military to flush out criminals for thief charges. Tor chief charges the FG, that's the federal government, and Niger partners firms on 150 billion naira Mina Paiko Suleja water project. All right, I think that'll be it for the blueprint.
Now let's look at the leadership newspaper, and it is also focusing on security matters. Anti-terrorism, to be specific, as Chad Basin traditional rulers lead fresh front. The partner regional government to end security, poverty, inequality, feeling insurgency in Lake Chad. That's according to President Tinubu. And the military will do more to restore lasting peace. Another story here says APC expels Aregbesola for anti-party activities. The EFCC versus Yahaya Bello case, court adjourns to April 3rd. But this story on anti-terrorism, the big story there on the leadership, it's great that the president is also acknowledging that poverty, inequality is fueling insurgency. Our borders are very important. How we man our borders and how well they are being maintained and monitored is very important in addressing the issue of insecurity. Speaking with security experts, most of them usually say that most of these people who invade or who perhaps perpetrate some of these crimes are even foreigners, people who have access to our borders through land and are perhaps allowed to, create a situation in other towns. But I think that's fine for the leadership newspaper.
And that would lead us to the Salient Times with a very wonderful header there, still on the NLC's planned strike against the 50% tariff hike. But there's something up again on the paper right there. EU seeks better structured economic relationship with Nigeria. We love that. We love that. 59-year-old house burglar with 44 previous convictions is jailed again for same crime. Okay. How do we keep missing that? That is coming back after so many years for the same crime again. And at the bottom strip of the paper, Selling Times, Ogun police storm kidnappers' hideout on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, kill 5 suspects and rescue 3 victims. Okay, I think we'll leave it there for the Silent Times.
And for that, that story on the prisoner who committed a crime again, I'm tempted to use my knowledge as a criminologist to address this. Well, I think we'll do that.
I forgot Madame de here.
Let's quickly go to the first newspaper. And it's also still talking about this NLC purported plan to shut down telecoms over the hike. But another story here, which is of interest, well, for me, that would be JAMB hold to low admissions in a private university, that's Redeemers University, and 7 orders. And so this raises concern about, for those who are already enrolled in that course, are they perhaps going to be given the time frame to ensure that they complete those courses and they're given their certificate at least, or it ends their lecture almost immediately? That is a source of concern.
Indeed, absolutely, absolutely. And then let's bring you to the Daily Independent newspaper. Olamide again, Sporting Life falls to you. All right, all right. Okay. Again, the Daily Independent is reporting quite a number of stories we've taken, both from the tariff to the PDP crisis and so on and forth. But there's something right here. At the bottom right of the Daily Independent, President Tinubu embodies essence of desperation. That is quoting Atiku Abubakar.
Oh, well.
Whatever he means, that is his opinion, Midday. But
I mean, you could take the Sporting Life also.
No, go ahead. We have female champions in sports, and you could be one this morning.
All right. So finally on Sporting Life, the big story here says contract controversy, Al Nasser may end Boniface's transfer if 75 million euros Doran move is sealed. There were high hopes for this transfer, saying that Boniface may not have to leave the club. But from what we are saying this morning, it's quite different. Napoli turned down Gala's £65 million bid for Osimhen. These are players. These are Nigerians. Dortmund confident of signing Onyedika, and Uche makes team of the week.
You know, our players are always making us proud, and so each time I hear beats for them like this, it says, wow, the Nigerian bloc is doing pretty well when it comes to sports. And where we now bring it up down to Veronica and Ibrahim, especially as it has to do with what we saw at the PDP BOT yesterday, Veronica and Ibrahim. How do you think the opposition parties should behave, you know, to present themselves as a formidable opposition with the responsibility of holding the government in power to account? What should they do? Veronica?
I know why you don't want to leave this matter, but then, you see, where you have people who should show sportsmanship and leadership in a party not doing the needful, you find issues like this happen. And where you have laws that are not implemented, you also find issues like this. Now, the party has rules. It has its internal mechanism of resolving issues. It should implement that. Why they are finding it difficult to implement that is a problem. And then if the ambition of someone is seemingly impeding on the success or the movement of the party, then what are they doing with regards to speaking with these individuals or that individual to ensure that the party, you know, take up that position of being a formidable opposition? These issues, they are not addressing critically, because if they are tackling it head on, I'm sure they will not be where they are right now.
And it's quite unfortunate that some among this party, they're also blaming the opposition, especially the incumbent ruling party, APC of being the mastermind behind the crisis in their own party. But truthfully, one of them was just true to themselves, when talking on a TV station yesterday, saying that, well, it won't be reasonable for them to blame the opposition party because the crisis within their own party is the making of their own selves. So they have to come together, resolve these issues, leave personal interest aside. Of course, politics is about interest at the end of the day, but then just leave it aside and rally together so that they can resolve this crisis, come 2027. But then we'll wait to see. It's a season film. We'll continue to watch.
I can't come to your house and blame you for what is wrong in my own house.
Where are other opposition parties? I mean, we have an array of them, over 50 opposition parties. Where are they? Must it be only the PDP or Labour Party? But I'll leave that to our viewers to decide. We need to move on now. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Olamide.
Thank you.